Just when it seemed like that the good news, and I mean that in air quotes, couldn't get any quote unquote better for Stadia, we find out that a maker of a big time game with a lot of attention is now yanking that game from coming to Google Stadia. Oh my, oh my. C is, oh no, Terraria arrival on Google Stadia canceled. What is going on here? Let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the SDO Daily. Do me a huge favor before we get into this one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when your boy's dropping these doses. I appreciate all of y'all straight up. Y'all know the deal, y'all know the reason, and y'all know this slogan. I am not too proud to ask. Let's get into it. All right, so, so the week prior, we've had the unfortunate news cycle that was centered around Stadia closing its first party studio, Stadia Games and Entertainment, SGNE. And there really wasn't a reassuring response from Stadia. I mean, after we looked at it, after some time, it kind of looks like that they went to the airwaves on the corporate blog post that's mainly used to address corporations along with retail clientele. And that's why that letter could have seemed so matter of fact and not really addressing the emotions that were impending from such an action. But a lot of us still feel like that's no excuse. Like there should have been subsequent communications. Like it really, again, I'm going to use the word that was thrown out there or the term because I really think that it hits the nail right on the head. It really seems tone deaf. All right. So we're still waiting to see how long Stadia is going to hold out on responding, or if they're not going to respond at all. If what we saw is what we're going to get. On the heels of that, though, we woke up another Monday morning to another news story that the maker of Terraria, his name loses me right now, co-founder of it or co-creator of it, excuse me, said, look, I'm yanking my game from Google Stadia on an unrelated situation. What is that situation? Well, let me try to explain it to you the best way that I can. So this co-creator, and again, if you don't know Terraria is like this indie game that's really, tearing it up. It's, making headways. It's a favorite, and just the thought of it coming to Stadia made a lot of people feel that it could attract some people to the platform and help in that goal, because the more people that are on the platform, the more likely that bigger AAA multiplayer games will come, because then there'll be a player base for that, and then it's a win-win for everybody. So they're hoping that the bigger ticket games being on the platform will make more people feel comfortable on utilizing the platform more than just random single player games here and there, that they'll dedicate themselves to it, and then that'll again increase the multiplayer user base. Well, okay, so this game was slotted to come. I think that there was some talk from Google actually mentioning this game coming soon. The ESRB rating had just hit like 48 hours before this recording, something like that. And it seemed like all systems were go, ready for this to happen. However, it appears that over a 3-week period, this individual has been locked out of their Google account. And it's associated to the YouTube account that they use for Terraria videos and stuff like that. So they were locked out of there, then they were locked out of the Google account, and locked out of functionality altogether. And this individual is upset because they said there's 15 years or X amount of years of contracts and just important documentation. Like, you put stuff on the cloud under the reliability belief that it's going to be there. It's in the cloud and it's reliable. You put your trust in the cloud opposed to putting it in your own individual space, not just to save yourself space, but because you feel like there might be more reliability opposed to you powering up your PC one day and it just, everything just doesn't work. You know, the infrastructure of these cloud platforms and stuff like that, a lot of people feel like that they're more reliable. Okay. And then this defeats that purpose, not being able to access all this stuff. So apparently the co-creator claims that they've been trying to get this resolved for 3 weeks and they weren't able to get it resolved. And because they weren't able to get it resolved, assumingly they felt like there was no better way, and pending the release of their game, their highly acclaimed game, their well-regarded game, the release of this game during or amidst all this doubt about Stadia, they felt like that the best way to pursue this was to create a lot of buzz over their account being locked by saying we're yanking this game from Stadia and we don't want to do business with a cloud platform or a platform that does his customers like this, because he's upset that he's been trying to get this resolved for 3 weeks. He says, I'm pulling my business, not only from Google, but this game ain't going on Stadia and I'm yanking my business from Google. And at the time of this recording, Terraria is still on the Google Play Store. Now that I've gotten past all that blah, 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 let's get to the real meat and potatoes here. All right. So what I was informed of while I was doing a live session, again, take this with a grain of salt, because I can't speak in this wholeheartedly because I've been trying to look for information, but I'm only able to share with you driblets that I've been able to find so far. So it's rumored that this guy ignored a terms of service email from Google because the YouTube channel was gathering strikes. And they were being ignored. Now, whether that was being ignored intentionally or not, who knows? And that's what started this off, and this person's been trying to rectify it. But despite all that happening, whether that is the truth of the matter or not, I really don't think that's at the crux of the problem here. Here's the thing. There's two parts to this. I get this person's frustration because, frankly, Google is bad with this. I talked about this live on the air where I've had to deal with situations since I've monetized Stadia Dosage, that songs that I play that are songs that Google says on its own copyright-free list of audios. It's songs you can use unapologetically. These are, and even further, these are specific songs that you ain't gotta give a kudos to, or say you can just use the song freely at your will on this platform with no problems. And I've used them, and I'll get dinged for using those songs that Google told me I could use, because some knucklehead went and took a bunch of those songs, made a fake album, and then submitted that fake album to Google and said, look, this is my copyright material, and Google accepted it. I've had to deal with my channel being shut down on the most phoniest claims possible. 3 months. Again, that's a hurt piece, especially if you're a content creator. This guy's a game developer, and content creation could be key to the promotion of his game. But more importantly than that, if you're just a straight up content creator and you get a copyright strike from Google and they plan to shut you down for several months, you never know when you're going to come back. So I got a copyright strike one time for something that was wrong on their end. I argued it out with them, and then just 3 months later, out of nowhere, they said, oh, yeah, you were right. We removed the strike. You're cool. Out of the 3 months later, you made, so how is that a fathomable business partnership? And then I get it. Then somehow this gets, I don't know if the terms of service is tied into this or if that's actually true, but if it is, Google, why is the copyright strike via YouTube, what that got to do with Gmail? So yeah, this is all bad intertwining. It's bad. However, This couldn't have been handled by this code creator in a more stupider way. Because I get that you have a frustration of how XYZ business works. And trust me, you're not the only one. Working for a Fortune 500 company, we've had to deal with issues where a company is upset with business sector A. I'm part of business sector B. They ain't got nothing to do with business sector A. But because they don't like the amount of customer service they're getting in sector A, they call me in B and they fitch a bad one. And then they say, you know what, I'm letting you know right now, I'm gonna privy you to some conversations. If y'all don't connect to sector A and get this corrected, we are going to pull our business as soon as our contracts allow us to do so. As soon as y'all go up for RFP, it's an industry term. Once y'all go up for RFP, that's the process when, you know, clients look at the vendor relationships that they have and they say, okay, I'm gonna stay on my roll, and then they go journey and check out other possible vendor relationships. Yeah, when we up for RFP, we're gone, puppy. We're gone, bucko. And that's how you handle that as a professional, as a CEO. I get your small time. I get you may have had to go to the local law library, the local community college, research some things, but you better fake it till you make it. This is not how you handle a relationship with a Fortune 500 company, because in all likelihood, you're going to need them more than they need you, for the simple fact that you using them for Google this and Google that and Google that. You trying to hold their customer service hostage by holding your game hostage, despite any other correlating contracts that might be involved or anything like that, ain't the way to go. If you're not getting through sector A, where the original problem is at, then yes, you do pick up the phone and you talk to sector B and you let them know, hey, look, I got an issue. And if you can't resolve this issue, it's going to have an underlining effect on our business. So you better get on the phone and get somebody to contact me ASAP. And it better not be regular Joe Schmo, bro. I'm a business client. I have this game that has the potential to bring so much outreach to your platform. That's how you handle it behind the scenes. If you feel like you got to go public, it better be something catastrophic and nuclear. Which again, this may sound like that, it may borderline on that, but here's how you handle it without burning the bridge. It's a shame I have to go public with this, but I have critical information, documentation and stuff that has erroneously been locked away from me being able to access with my Google accounts. And this is going to have an underlining effect with my ability to release Terraria on Stadia. And I think imposing the certain air or atmosphere with Stadia, this is something they don't want. So hopefully you guys can address this ASAP. Have someone of seniority call me ASAP. I would put something like that on Twitter, but I wouldn't sit there and just play this childish game, kicking and screaming, I'm yanking my game. No, that's a little step too far. And you don't play with Fortune 500 companies like that. Why? Why don't you do that? Why? Mr. CEO, young guy, I would presume. Because Fortune 500 companies have connections. And even though you're doing this to one Fortune 500 company, its competitors are then not looking at, well, should we extend business with you? This was so unprofessional. Even though it's happening to their competitor, they're then envisioning them in that place. If this person gets mad at a service unconnected to what what we're going to work for here, or you going to yank my business? If they go buy a copy of Windows Excel and it burns some spreadsheet, are they going to pull their business, or business from Xbox? Like, I don't know if I want to do business with them. If I want to do business with them. These are the things that you're supposed to think about. So let this be a lesson. Because I know a lot of people like to bring up the fact that they're business owners or they're doing certain things at a certain level. No, there's a difference, and I'm not saying this, but there's a difference between doing business at an entrepreneur level or at a small level and then dealing with a Fortune 500 company. There are just some no-nos. Even when they are wrong, they're just some no-nos, because in all likelihood, again, you're going to need them again in the future more than they'll need you. So because of that, this individual played a stupid game. I wouldn't be surprised if they just say, well, the hell with it. Just don't bring the game to the platform. Google seems like they have a bigger reputational risk appetite than the average company. And they probably say the hell with it. Now, we know a lot of people are looking forward to this. We know it just adds to the cloud of doubt. We don't care. We're going to answer it this way. We're not going, you know what I'm saying? They seem like they don't care anyway. And then here, you're SOL. What if Google Stadia flies off or propels? What if it does get, and then you want to put your next your next game on this platform? You can't. You burnt that bridge. What if there's some other partnerships with other Google services and products that they would be willing to, you could, prior to all this, negotiate a better price with it. You have now lost all your bargaining chips because you went too far. This is what you simply did. And a saying goes, when you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. This is going to have long-term ramifications. I feel sorry for this guy. It might still come to Google Stadia, but it's going to impede his relationships, not only with Google, but with the Fortune 500 world for time to come. It's a shame, period. And that's it from your boy MM2K. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, who cares what I think? But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, the Stadia Dosage. With all that said, hope you appreciated this. You all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.